Hello, everybody. I'm Becca from Powering Pumps and Equipment. Today, I'm very excited. I have Nick Vastine with Applied Flow Technologies with us today. Nick, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Nick Vastine. I'm a business applications engineer with Applied Flow Technology. AFT is a software developer for pipe flow modeling applications. So we look at pressure and flow distributions in very complex piping systems. So whether the application is liquid, gas, steady state, or transient, we kind of have our feet in whatever piping system that you could be looking at. As a business applications engineer, I get to do a lot of different things. I get to do engineering support with our customers. I get to do business development in the back end. And one of my favorite things is going out, meeting customers and meeting users, like at the upcoming TPS trade show.
Yes. And so, with TPS coming up very soon, September is a month that's all about oil and gas, chemicals, petrochemical industries, and similar industries like that. How would you say that AFT really makes a difference in these industries?
Yeah, so oil and gas and chemical petrochemical has always been one of the largest industries that we've served. What I think is unique about that industry in particular is it's such a wide range of different applications. So some of the things that I've seen modeled in our software include mile-long pipelines or all of the utilities that support a refinery, whether that be cooling water or steam systems. This past year, we had a case study where a guy was looking at a subsea injection system. So as long as it can flow through a pipe, we try to do our best to help engineers develop a model to model their system. Part of the fun of our business is because of that huge range of application, every system is going to be unique. And so every system has its own unique challenges that an engineer is trying to accomplish. So with AFT, we've hopefully seen some sort of similar system, or we have enough familiarity with the software to help model those unique systems and achieve those unique challenges. But across all of those different systems in oil and gas, petrochemical, and beyond, really it comes down to kind of the three core values that we have with AFT and our ultimate goal with our software and support. The first one being safety. So how do we make sure that the piping systems engineers are designing are, one, not only safe for the people operating them, but also for the environment. Two is efficiency. So how can we lead to a greener future, reduce the amount of energy being lost in these systems, but also help reduce operating costs associated with that energy. And then finally, reliability, especially in oil and gas. When you're dealing with such a lucrative product, any amount of downtime is going to be very expensive. So using our software tools to try to improve the reliability of their systems.
That's amazing. And I mean, you really just stole the next question I was going to ask you of, what value are you able to offer people in this space? And, that's a lot of value and just really important things that engineers and professionals in our industry really need in their everyday work environment.
Yeah, especially with reliability being such a big focus. I kind of consider reliability in two forms, especially in the context of our software. Either one, an issue has already occurred and engineers are trying to troubleshoot that problem, or two, we have engineers that are trying to get ahead and design for reliability and efficiency from the get-go. In the first case, if they're trying to troubleshoot, it can be very valuable to build out a model because you're essentially giving yourself a framework and a baseline to compare all of your physical system to. So by creating a model, you have this baseline, you can then identify discrepancies between what you've gathered in the field and what you expect to happen. And from there, you can identify problematic areas and really zone in. We had another case study this past year where they looked at a cooling water system that was unable to meet its design requirements. So they built out this big elaborate model and they could point to the exact valve that failed that was causing the issue. So again, from a troubleshooting perspective, that first side, it's useful to have that baseline expectation. On the other side, something that is very important, and we see this with especially Department of Energy standards as pumps are designed to get more and more efficient, is how do you design for reliability and efficiency to begin with? I think in a lot of cases with hydraulic design, especially from a component perspective, you can get very narrow-minded and focused on just one piece. But it's important to kind of take a step back and take a systems approach, which is really what our software is good for, because now you're giving yourself all these different knobs and levers that you can turn to try to improve both reliability and efficiency. So I would say those are really the two big cases for reliability. Either one, you're troubleshooting an issue, and so building a model can help you identify that particular issue and know where to look. And two, if you're designing for reliability and efficiency to begin with, taking an approach from a system perspective instead of from a component perspective gives you all sorts of flexibility to come up with a more reliable or more efficient solution than just narrow-mindedly focusing on a single component.
I love that. And it's definitely needed. I do see that there is a shift in the industry looking at it as a whole system standpoint, but there still are very much a lot of people in this space that just are looking at their specific piece of equipment and not really how it affects and interacts with everything. And it's definitely needed to look at the system as a whole, especially when it comes to reliability. So that's awesome that you kind of noted that, and that's a big thing that's worked into, you know, your core values there at AFT.
Yeah.
Now, with your software, what would you say is the most important thing that professionals should know about AFT and what they should be utilizing?
So AFT has been around for more than 2 decades at this point. We're coming up on 30 years within the next 2 years or so. And so our kind of flagship product, which some engineers may have some familiarity with, is AFT Fathom. That's our liquid steady state tool. So primarily for pumping systems, a common application might be those cooling water systems or a steady state subsea injection that we talked about earlier. So I think to take away from that is a lot of those same expectations of designing for efficiency and designing for reliability. How can you tweak all those different tools? All of that's available within that software tool, the same, style. So one thing I would note is with efficiency, it doesn't have to completely overhaul a system because these systems are running continuously all the time. Even a marginal improvement in efficiency means that you're going to lead to cost savings and energy savings as well. So AFT Fathom, that's kind of the flagship. If you've heard of AFT, there's good chances that you've heard of AFT Fathom. We also have AFT Aero, which considers compressible effects. So now imagine your gas comes in this size, and then when it leaves, it's this size. So trying to adjust for those compressibility effects. One thing that I think is interesting, sort of like the shift in industry towards efficiency and reliability, we've similarly seen a shift in trying to anticipate issues associated with transient events. So a transient event might be something like you're starting your pump up, you're shutting your pump down, or there might be an emergency and you have to slam a valve closed. In a lot of those cases, engineers might not consider the changes in pressure and changes in flow rate and kind of the extremes that those can reach. And especially in something like an emergency case where you might be tripping all of your pumps off, you might be slamming valves closed. If you're already reacting to one emergency and all of a sudden slamming that valve closed bursts your pipes or it can vacuum collapse the other side of it, now you're reacting to kind of a secondary emergency. So kind of what I would promote is if you're already familiar with the steady state analysis, you've done a very good job trying to account for efficiency and reliability and safety, as we mentioned, but there is still work to be done from the industry and beyond in terms of considering those water hammer and surge events. So we have some complementary products, AFT Impulse and AFT Extreme, that can model it for liquids like AFT Fathom and gases like AFT Aero. Again, trying to complement that usually under-assessed area.
That was an awesome breakdown of it.
Yeah.
So thank you for kind of going over that and just explaining really well all the different options that you have and how they can complement each other. And it's important for people to know all the things that you are able to do. So Nick, why don't you tell me what is the best way that people can connect with you and then also AFT?
Yeah, so I think the best way to learn more about our company and to learn about our products is through our website. Usually we will be mistaken as AFT, the American Federation of Teachers. That's aft.org, and we're aft.com. So if you end up on the wrong site, just swap it out. But from there, you can learn more about our products. You can download demos. You can learn from the different case studies that I've referenced as well. If you want to get in contact with me directly, I am in a sort of sales role, as we have here, but also in a support role if you have more technical questions. but you can shoot us an email at sales@aft.com. If you address it to me, Nick, then I will know that you're reaching out specifically for me. We're based in Colorado Springs, and if you're based in the US, you can always give us a call. You can reach us at 719-686-1000. And if you are going to attend TPS here in September, you can stop by our booth 1420.
Awesome. Well, thanks. It's been a pleasure to talk with you and to just learn more about AFT. And definitely, if you are at TPS, you need to make sure to check them out, or definitely go to their website. You guys put out so much good information on a regular basis. It's amazing. And I know as a partner of yours, it's really great to be able to share all of that expert insight out to our audience. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you at TPS, Becca.